50% of men over 55 wish they had handled their finances differently. These are good, strong, family men who did everything they knew was right. They went to school, got good, well paying jobs, and invested consistently in a company sponsored 401k. Men like you, and they're sitting right where you might be sitting right now, wondering if the number they have is actually going to be enough. If that sounds like you, pay close attention because what I'm about to show you is not just another budget plan. It's not just some generic retirement calculator, and it has nothing to do with living below your means. This is Papa Charlie's playbook for financial freedom, and it's built specifically for the man who still has time, but not much of it. I know what it feels like to be running out of time with everything on the line. You see, in 2001, I had spent over 25 years clawing my way toward my childhood dream of becoming an airline pilot. By that time, I was 38 years old, and by all accounts, it was already too late. But I had made a decision that I simply would not concede. When the opportunity finally arrived, I walked into the American Eagle Airlines interview with a confidence that spoke volumes. It wasn't a confidence that I would get the job. On the contrary, it was a confidence that if I didn't get the job, I had a backup plan. A backup plan so bold that when the interviewer asked me what I would do if they didn't hire me, my answer visibly set her aback. I said, if you don't hire me, I'll start my own airline, become a thorn in your side, and force you to buy me out, hiring me in the process. By the time she regained her composure, she looked at me and said, then I guess we'd better hire you. A week later, this arrived in the mail. I've had this on my wall for 25 years, and every time I look at it, I'm reminded of one thing. The decision that I would not be denied came first. The outcome followed. That truth applies equally in business and in finance. Mark Twain may have said it best. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. The problem was never effort. It was never discipline. It was never income. The problem is that you've been playing someone else's game, watching the wrong scoreboard. For decades, you've been measuring salary, savings, and net worth. Those are the numbers the financial industry told you were important. Those are the numbers you were taught to measure by people who are no better off financially than you, because that's what they were told to do. You secured a solid salary, boosted your credit score, bought a house because you were told that a home is your biggest asset, and you invested in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds through a 401k because that's what all the financial experts said would get you to your goal. But here's the rub. None of those things made you financially free. And that's not your fault. That's the playbook you were handed. You've been winning the game, just on the wrong scoreboard. Here's the good news. You still have time to decide to play a different game. So how did I figure out which scoreboard I should be watching? The same way most people figure things out that matter, the hard way. I spent years flying internationally for some of the world's largest airlines, and I watched something that troubled me deeply. Colleagues who had earned more money in a single year than most people earn in a decade, retiring broke, or going back to work because the math just didn't add up. They had high income but still lacked financial freedom. The scoreboard lied to them in the same way that it lied to you. That's when I asked a better question. What does freedom mean to me? Like many of my airline friends, I was earning a high income, but the thing I desired the most was the freedom to choose what I would do, when, and with whom. That kind of freedom requires both money and time was running out. So I consulted the source of all wisdom, the Bible. I noticed certain principles and patterns that the wealthiest people followed. I discovered examples of stewardship, leadership, and business models. Then I found the single most impactful principle of them all. Those who achieved the greatest success sought wisdom from those who had already done the same. When I began working with a mentor, everything changed. My mentor introduced me to the real rules of money. And now I want to share my wisdom with families like yours. So, what does the right scoreboard look like? It starts with understanding the difference between the game of the rich and the one everyone else is playing. Assets and liabilities are the cause, income and expenses are the effect. Most people spend their lives managing the symptoms rather than the cause. They track income and expenses, they budget, they try to live below their means and save what's left, but rarely is anything left. So the cycle never breaks because they never addressed the cause. Let's take a look at Papa Charlie's version of a financial statement to see the difference. At the top of the page, you'll see two columns, the wealth column on the left and the debt column on the right. The wealth column is for your assets. These are things that put money in your pocket on a regular basis, whether you show up or not. Rental income, business income, dividends. The debt column is for your liabilities. These are things that take money out of your pocket every month. Your mortgage, car loans, credit card debt, student loans. Below the cause columns, you'll find the income and expense sections. Income is straightforward. Your monthly take-home pay, any side income, and any other income you receive regularly, not your gross salary. I'm talking about what actually hits your account after taxes. Expenses is where most people discover something uncomfortable. I've broken expenses into 6 categories: housing and rent, healthcare, insurance, transportation, which is fuel, maintenance, and registration, but not your car payment, since that lives in liabilities. Lifestyle, which includes clothing, dining out, and work-related expenses, and miscellaneous non-discretionary expenses. When your asset column produces more income than your lifestyle costs to maintain, you're free. That's the freedom formula, and it's the only number that tells you whether or not you've won the game. Now I want you to pause this video. Download the free personal financial statement in the description below. Print it or put it up on your screen, because the next section only works if you have real numbers in front of you. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, this is your assessment moment. What does your financial situation actually look like right now? Not what you think it looks like. What do the numbers actually say? Fill in your asset column first. Every income producing asset you own. Whatever flows into your pocket on a regular basis without you showing up. For most people watching this, that column is empty or close to it. Write it anyway. 0 is a starting point, not a verdict. Now do the paycheck autopsy. Add up every number on paper first, then bring the totals here. Income minus liabilities minus expenses. What remains is your cash flow. Now look at the opportunity fund line. How much of your remaining cash flow is currently moving into your asset column this month? Remember, we're talking about income producing assets, not savings, not your 401k. This number tells you everything you need to know about where you are today. Now that you know where you are, let me show you where we're going together. In Genesis 1:28, God gave man a 3-part command that contains the entire blueprint for success in any endeavor. It's so simple, most people read right past it. The command is this: be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Then have dominion. 3 commands: be, do, have. 3 distinct actions, and they apply directly to your financial situation right now. To be fruitful is to be productive. That is, use the skills and abilities that God has given you to produce value for others that they will gladly pay for. Initially, that's working at your job. The next three parts fall into the category of do. To multiply is to redirect a part of your earnings so that it becomes productive in its own right. Before lifestyle gets to it, a portion of every dollar you earn should move to the asset column, not into savings. That comes from your insurance expenses. Decide before you get paid how much moves to your opportunity fund. Set it up automatically, then pay everything else. Fill the earth is the deployment of your opportunity fund. One asset is a start. Multiple streams of asset income is a fortress. Rental income, business income, dividends, etc. Each one flows whether you're working or not. The goal is a diversified asset column that produces income from multiple directions simultaneously. Subdue is the system that automatically protects your cash flowing assets, the automation that makes the asset column self-sustaining. Build something that runs whether you're at work, on the beach, or in bed. Now here's where Papa Charlie's playbook for financial freedom differs from everything you've been taught about money. The world system would have you believe that what you have and what you do determine who you are. But the biblical system says the exact opposite. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Not adjusted, not improved, but transformed. That means that before doing becomes sustainable, you must first become the kind of person who believes it will work. Because the greatest obstacle between you and financial freedom is not your income or your debt level. It's the belief system you've been operating from for the last 3 decades or more. The same knowing that allowed me to walk into that American Eagle interview without fear is the same confidence that has to walk into every financial decision you make from this point forward. Not confidence that everything will be perfect, confidence that you have a plan, and the knowing that whatever it takes, you will not be denied. Now we come to the third and final part of God's command: have dominion. Most people think having is about self-service, getting one's slice of the pie, enough to live a comfortable lifestyle, crossing the finish line. But Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." That's a 2-generation mandate, and it redefines what having actually means. Having enough to be satisfied is not the finish line. It's the starting line for something much larger than yourself. Financial freedom without purpose is an exercise in futility. After all, you can't take it with you. But with purpose, it becomes legacy. And legacy is what happens when the asset column you've built keeps producing long after you've stopped working, even long after you're gone. Think of one name now: a child, a grandchild, a person whose financial future you have the power to change. Write that name down. Every financial decision you make from this point forward either produces something for that person or consumes it. That's have. That's why you're here. So where do we go from here? You've seen the scoreboard, you've done the assessment, you've written the name. Now you have to make a decision. And I want to be honest with you about what your options actually are. Option 1, you do nothing. You close this video, go back to whatever you were doing, and hope the conventional playbook delivers something different than it has so far. That's a choice, and it's yours to make. Option 2, you figure it out on your own. You take what you've learned today and start building. That's also a valid path. It'll take you longer and cost more in mistakes than it needs to, but it's possible. Option 3, you let me walk you through it, step by step, inside Covenant Wealth Academy's financial stewardship curriculum, starting with the 3 steps to taking control of your money challenge. The 3 steps challenge is the first course in the curriculum. It's built around everything you've learned today: the financial statement, the freedom formula, the be, do, have blueprint. And it includes something you won't find anywhere else. When you enroll, You have the option to invite up to 3 related households to go through it with you: an adult son or daughter, a sibling, even your best friend. Those people can start this journey with you today. Again, Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." The 3 steps challenge is where that inheritance starts. The link is in the description. Go there now. I'm Papa Charlie. Class dismissed.